Get ready to dive deep into Buffalo's vibrant music scene because we're stepping inside the fabulous Flamingo Lounge for the 9th season of local music magic. In the Flamingo Lounge with Rockabilly Greg is more than just a podcast. It's a collection of stories that delves deep into the vibrant musical history of Buffalo and Western New York, creating a living archive where each story adds a unique thread to the overall narrative. This week marks the 7th session of Rockabilly 2 Rachmaninoff, a captivating series promising unique insights from the featured guest from the Buffalo Philharmonic Orchestra. New episodes in the series drop every 2 months on the second Saturday. But before we get started, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors, CatsLikeUs.com, Diamond Hawk Golf Course and Pub, and our valued supporters, Sportsman's Tavern and Buffalo Ironworks, for helping to keep the music alive. This week, we're spotlighting the Buffalo United Community Choir. Founded in January 2023 by the BPO Diversity Council, BUCC unites the Buffalo-Niagara region through the transformative power of music. The dynamic 100-plus member choir features voices from over 50 local churches and organizations, embodying the true spirit and diversity of Buffalo. Under the brilliant artistic leadership of Ella E. Robinson, Karen Saxon, and George Brown, BUCC has delivered stirring, soulful performances, collaborating with the Buffalo Philharmonic Orchestra at Kleinhans Music Hall and lifting spirits across the community. The Buffalo United Community Choir proudly lives by its motto, "We lift our voices in song as one community." Please welcome to the Flamingo Lounge, Karen Saxon and George Brown. Hey.
Hey.
Hello.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
We're actually a little off-site here. We're actually at the BPO offices talking here. So one of these days, you got to come to my famous Flamingo Lounge.
Listen, I love the name of it already.
It's the place to be. So. Yeah, it's a cool spot. I collect records and memorabilia and pictures and all that stuff.
I love that.
Was on the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame board for 11 years and really got involved in the local scene. So that's kind of why I'm doing this thing. And
we'll definitely have to stop by.
Yeah. So I'm always on the lookout for that one record. And I've got my holy grail that I keep looking for. But, one of these days, it's a 78 too. So
wow.
Yeah. Wow. So it's actually the first recording that Frankie Dunlop, Boyd Lee Dunlop, and Elvin Shepard were on.
Oh, wow.
It was from Buffalo, 1948. Mo Kaufman and his main stemmers. So
Jeez.
I have a repress from 1950 from the Netherlands, but I don't have the original yet.
Got it.
So that's my.
You're a collector.
Oh, I'm a collector. Yeah. Because Boyd Lee didn't record a lot, so he's not on many recordings at all. Frankie was, of course, but anyway, I digress. So let's, as I mentioned off air, I always like to start the podcast asking everybody, did you have an aha moment when you said music's what I want to do? And Karen, we'll start with you.
I certainly do.
Oh.
I will, and even if I didn't have that aha moment, I was born to a master musician.
Amen.
Who was born to a master musician.
Wow.
Who was born to a master musician. So music was going to be it somehow. But oddly enough, my aha moment took place at Kleinhans.
Oh.
I was a student of the Buffalo Arts and Music School, and we, the director of the program was Donald L. Hilliard, and he was all about developing the whole child, right? So we had this phenomenal choir, but we also had an after-school program and a Saturday full school day, and we were challenged to raise our own money. You remember the QRS recital series? Kathleen Battle was one of the recitalists, and the challenge that he set up with our parents was that the parents would not buy our tickets to her recital, that we would earn the money on our own. So I washed dishes, I babysat, I cleaned up, I picked up extra chores, I played, I sold candy, I did whatever I had to do to get the ticket to that concert. Wow. And I still remember where I was sitting when she came out in this gorgeous strapless hot pink taffeta dress with a long white scarf. And when I saw her, it was just like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
And when she sang, "He's got the whole world in his hands," I said, that is it. I want to sing. I don't want to do anything else. That's it. This is what I want to do. Because if my mom had it her way, I would be a concert pianist.
Okay.
But the minute I heard that sound, I was like, nope, that's it for me.
That's it. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I just had Sally Andolina on, who's clarinetist with the BPO, and he says, yeah, my mom wanted me to be a doctor, and she still keeps, she's like 94 or something. She says, yeah, she says, there's still time for you to be a doctor.
Oh, man.
So, well, George, you're up.
So I didn't realize this was my aha moment until later in life, but it was more of a aha culture that my mom built. So in the kitchen every day, it was between Whitney Houston and Richard Smallwood played all day, every day in my house. Now on Sundays, there was nothing but gospel music played.
Right.
That was the rule. Mom said nothing but gospel. But she'd play Whitney throughout the week. And I would remember the first time I ever heard Richard Smallwood, I just started to cry. And I was a kid. I didn't know what gospel music meant. I knew what the meaning behind it was, but didn't know there was a separate music for it. I just knew the sound. And still to this day, and I'm 43 now, I've still never heard a sound like Richard Smallwood's music, ever. And so music just would make me cry as a kid. And so I didn't realize that was my aha moment until I was an adult, because my mother I'm the youngest of 4, 2 brothers, 1 sister. Everyone took music lessons and piano lessons except for me.
Oh, wow.
And since no one else got into music, she said, well, George doesn't need it. And I'm the only one in music.
Right.
Even though I didn't get that. But I think that was my aha moment when she even realized. And then later in life, she tried to make me take music lessons. But my aha moment was when I was listening to a Richard Smallwood song. And I remember the song. It was Psalm 8. Psalm 8, when the Smallwood singers sang it before Vision. He had his full choir. It was just a small ensemble.
Yeah.
And Psalm 8 was the song. And I had never heard music put together like that.
Yeah.
And it was just extremely creative, extremely original and unique. And it was just touching. And so I knew as a kid, when I began to cry just at the sound of music, I'm like, yeah, this is what I need to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So to kind of keep it in the context of the choir. So when did you both start choir singing and getting together with choirs? So
basically when I was 5.
Wow.
Yeah. I still remember being a member of, at that time we were members of the Mount Ararat Baptist Church, where my mom was the minister of music. And I still remember getting my first certificate, and I found it cleaning my house not too long ago, for singing a solo when I was 5.
Which my mom still tells the story that your mom had my mom hold you when she was playing the organ one day. And she always tells me that story because she sang in the Mount Ararat choir under your mom's direction. Yes, so she tells me that story all the time. I forgot to tell you, actually. So I'm glad it came up now.
Yeah. So I grew up with it. It was always part of my life.
Oh, that's well. And before I get to you, George, you mentioned before that you had this lineage. So explain that a little bit.
So, okay, my mom is the Michelle Thomas, right? She's played for the BPO several times, especially with the concerts, the music that they performed from Andrew Brown, who is my great uncle.
Oh, okay.
So she also was a prodigy. At 3 years old, perfect pitch, could play anything. At 7 years old, got her first organ job. And because her feet didn't reach the pedals, they had to, I forgot how they worked that out. But she had her first church job at 7. Wow. Incredible musician. She studied at Villa's Conservatory at the time they had that conservatory. And she was born to Berlene Schumpert, my grandma, who was the musician for Calvary Baptist Church for years. Okay. And then she eventually went other places. And she was born to Ollie McCoy, who was a killer soprano. So it goes back generations, and I'm honored and blessed to be able to not only say those names, but I've spent time with each of them, which is like the coolest thing in the world to me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
If you can somehow put pillows on top of clouds, that is watching Michelle, her mother, play piano.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, and she's such a beautiful spirit and a beautiful person, but when you get to experience her play, people are obsessed just watching her hands because she doesn't make the music about herself.
Nope.
She makes it about the story. And Karen and I talk about that a lot, whether we are teaching the choir or she's directing me in a musical, whatever it is, we talk about the story all the time. And Michelle doesn't just write a page, she writes novels with her fingers. And it's so it's amazing since I was a kid, just watching her. There's a song that I remember Michelle played in the 500 voice recording.
Yeah.
That your brother, Preston, called Throne Room. And he's given us permission, my choir permission, to record it this year. Which every time we record, I try to make sure I have either Michelle Thomas or Karen Saxon or Preston Brown song on our CD. So I sent it to one of our musicians to play for rehearsal. The minute he heard it, he's like, and I won't even say all the words he said. He's like, who is playing the piano? I said, Michelle. He said, oh, figures. And it's because it's just, if you get a chance, it was the Rise Up Choir.
Yes.
If you get a chance to listen to that, and it was never published. So so I'm glad we are doing it again.
Yeah.
And I will be asking Miss Michelle.
Oh, yes, you should.
To play that song, but just,
because it won't be right if you get anybody else. Yeah.
Hello.
For sure.
Yeah. That's great. Now, you just mentioned being directed in musicals. So you do musical theater?
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah?
Now.
There you go.
No, it's my turn to brag
there you go.
This guy over here.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
He, of course, he's a staple in theater in Western New York because he's a powerful actor. He's an effortless, smart singer. And those two are rare together. But he also is contracted through New York City. He travels the country in musicals. He's been, what was the last thing you did?
Goddess in New York off Broadway.
Nice.
With Amber Iman, who was the lead in Lempicka.
Oh, wow.
The Broadway musical. And so Goddess, and we're hoping that we get word that it transfers to Broadway. But yeah, so that was the last one I did. And then I'm going to Kentucky in 2 weeks to do Les Mis as Javert.
So very nice.
So that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
That's a great role.
It is. And I never thought that it was a role that was right for me until I went into the audition for the ensemble. And they didn't call me back for the ensemble. They called me back for Javert for the national tour. Didn't end up getting it. But then I added a bunch of his songs to my book. Because I realized it's in my pocket.
For sure.
So, which I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
So
wow. How did you get started in musical theater?
Well, it's a funny story because I went to school for broadcast journalism. I wanted to be a sports broadcaster my entire life. Graduated with my journalism degree.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, I'm going to do.
That explains the hockey
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Like, okay, great.
So I wanted to be a sports broadcaster. At 18, a roller hockey company hired me to do their scorekeeping. By 2012, I was their VP, and it just became another career. But I've always been into hockey. But what happened was I was in the high school musical where 1 year I was with Brandon Felder at City Honors. And Brandon Felder is a renowned musician, composer, conductor, everything. And we graduated together, and he lives out in DC now, works at Bowie State. And so we were preparing for our high school choir rehearsal. We started a gospel choir, preparing for that. And we're just kidding around. He's playing, I'm singing my behind off in the auditorium at City Honors. And Kelly Buth, who works at Performing Arts right now, walks in and she asks, you're auditioning for the musical, right? Because auditions were coming up. And I'm like, absolutely not. I was playing football and hockey at the time. I'm like, football and hockey players don't do musicals. So she's like, well, you have to. You're here now, so you very well should. But I was still singing because I was in chorus and everything in high school. So I auditioned, and I was a Hooverville bum in Annie the first year. And I'm like, okay, that was cool. That was cool.
Yeah.
She asked me to audition the next year, and I was Josh Baskin, the lead role in Big. And then Seymour in my senior year in Little Shop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, I see this going somewhere, but I still got into Buff State and Emerson College in Boston and Syracuse because I wanted to go. But I'm a mama's boy, so I wasn't leaving home.
Yeah.
So I went to school for journalism, and Doug Wyand from Musical Fair Theater was our choreographer at City Honors. And he asked me to come out and audition for this show. It was a all a cappella musical called Avenue X.
Oh, wow.
And it had to deal with race relations in New York City. But what brought everybody together was their a cappella singing, where this young white boy and this young black boy were singing in the gutters below the street because that's the only way they can get away with it. And so it was a great show, which you'd be amazing in that show. I remember Mary Craig was in that show with me.
Yeah, okay.
And but he told me, he said, come out and audition for it. It pays pretty well. And I said, pays? I thought theater was a hobby.
Right.
And so once I got a paycheck from being on stage and acting and singing, two things that I've done for free my whole life, it changed something inside of me. Like, I can make money doing this. And then I worked professionally in Buffalo for a while. And then I was working for the Sabres as an intern because I'm like, this is what I want to do. And then it just started to take off. I started to be employed. I worked at the Theater of Youth for a while. And at a certain point, I had to make a decision. Am I going to do theater, or am I going to do the broadcasting? And, you know, you got to work your way up in both of them. But I'm like, you know what? The rise I get seeing people live and telling a story was just different than being behind a microphone, not being able to see people's reaction. That's why I love theater more than TV and film. And so when I started to get paychecks for that, I was just like, you know what? I can make a living telling stories.
Right.
Because I love doing that through music anyways. And even with my choir, I always tell them, it's not just about the words, it's about telling the story.
For sure.
And so when I was able to do that, and then I remember 2010, I made the jump to New York City, and my very first audition, I booked. And I was Tom Collins in Rent in Florida.
Oh, wow.
And I said, oh, this career is going to be easy.
Yeah,
Boy,
right.
was I wrong. But that was exactly how it happened. Someone saw something in me. And that's what I tell people all the time. If you see something in someone, try to make that art or that gift flourish. Nourish it if you can. Because there are so many people that don't get the representation and don't see others like them. And that's why I always try to talk to whoever I can, young, black, white, especially African-American young men who they are not encouraged to sing and dance. It's always looked at as a negative, and or it doesn't harness your masculinity because you want to sing and dance. And for me, it was something that my parents encouraged. And so it was great. So if you see something in someone, and that's why it's so awesome to work with Karen and that she's in the school system, because the way she works and what she demands out of her students and me also professionally, what she demands, I don't go into a rehearsal with Karen unprepared.
Right.
Because of what she's demanded already. Because there's a look you'll get from Karen Saxon.
Right.
If you are unprepared. And I don't want to experience that. And it was the same look Ella Robinson used to give me at choir rehearsal. So being able to work under them and now work with them has harnessed everything and helped me not only with my choir, but in my career as well. So it's been awesome.
Wow. It's so you're where are you teaching at?
I'm City Honors.
City Honors. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So you probably know my good buddy Donna Delano Kerr.
Yes.
Yes. So,
yes.
yeah.
We were colleagues. We're still colleagues,
Yeah.
but she's retired.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was her Ken doll with the Buffalo dolls. So they used to call me.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we never had the opportunity to work together.
Mhm.
My arrival at City Honors is just 4 or 5 years in the
Okay.
making.
Yeah.
But I absolutely know who she is. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you're doing the high school level or what level at school are you teaching and taking care of?
Oh boy. So I teach I teach 6th grade general music.
Oh, okay.
And then I teach Music Theory 1, which is a high school course. And then I have the high school choir. And then the chorale, which is like our highest level of choir. So yeah, that's my life in a bucket.
Wow.
Well, that part anyway.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness though that you can have a program at your school. Right?
For sure.
Well, I tell you, and having taught through COVID, it was, I had to get a lot of that muscle back.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how much I loved choral music until I couldn't have it. And the pandemic, the early parts, it drove me insane because I can't get to a choir.
Right.
I wanted that more than I wanted anything else. There was something about, and at the time I was teaching at Performing Arts.
Okay.
So that the whole exercise of getting the tone right, getting the phrasing together, getting the dynamics, all of it, I was addicted to it and I could not have it.
Yeah. Wow. And there's no way you can do that virtually.
No.
No.
As we have learned,
Yes.
I'll never forget being on a conference call because everybody was, trying to find a way to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're all going to sing Lift Every Voice Together. And I thought, no, this is not going to work.
Oh, yeah.
But, my arrival at City Honors was right at that time where we were, we still couldn't sing yet.
Right.
And then little by little, we were able to get it back together. And now we went from barely having a pulse to having a chorus that has 150 students.
Oh, wow.
A chorale that has a consistent 35 students. We're thriving again. We have finally got back the High School Musical, which
nice.
is incredible.
Yeah.
My phenomenal colleague Jimmy Moses directs them, and it feels good to have it all back.
Right. Yeah. What did you do this past season for your musical?
We did Come From Away.
Oh, great show.
I did.
Love that show.
Yeah, we did Come From Away. And when I first looked at it, I thought, Jimmy, okay, I know we want to be forward thinking, but did you look at the score? But our kids, they worked with me, and the same looks that I was told a couple days ago by my hairdresser, you should never play poker. Never. It's all on you, and it is. But they rose to the occasion, and my heart just swelled with pride because they really put the work in. They were phenomenal. Yeah, I remember my wife and I watched that on the staged. I love when they do that type of film or whatever movie of a musical where it's
the
on
actual
stage, the actual thing as opposed to trying to make it into
for sure
something. And my wife's like, man, you never fell asleep. She says, no, this kept me going. And my wife and I are theater folks. I mean, we met doing theater together. And,
I love that.
And all that.
That's awesome.
So we've, we've always had that kind of connection. And so we try to watch that stuff. I said, this was, and it was something. And I think part of it is too, there was no songs that you knew.
Right.
So you had, there's nothing to sing along. You had to listen.
For sure.
I went in, when I saw it on Broadway, my brother took me, and he harnessed my love for Broadway because he used to take me every year to New York to see a Broadway show. When JetBlue had $10 flights, I didn't know about auditions. He would look up auditions for me and put me on a flight. My brother and his husband were always supportive. But Come From Away, I went in blind. I didn't know what it was about. And I used to go to musicals all the time and study them because Betty Venator, who was at City Honors, and God rest her soul, she just passed, and she used to take us every year. Fifth grade, and it was all in Toronto. Fifth grade, we saw Phantom. Sixth grade, we saw Showboat. Seventh was Beauty and the Beast, and then eighth grade was pre-Broadway Ragtime with Audra and Brian Stokes Mitchell.
Oh wow!
If there was an aha moment about what I wanted to do,
jealous.
And then I got to see Audra's last performance of Gypsy. And 2 rows in front of me was Brian Stokes Mitchell. So I got to talk to him because I met him in an audition before. But that, I would always go into musicals studying. Yeah. This one, we went in and got tickets at TKTS, so I knew nothing about the show. Yeah. Bawled 3 or 4 times during the show because of the weight of the text. But it's a great show. It's an absolutely great show.
Wow. Yeah. Phenomenal. So let's get into the BUCC choir.
Yeah.
All right. So how did that whole thing develop?
So that was definitely a byproduct of the Diversity Council. Ella Robinson, who is not only one of our 3 directors, she's also my cousin. Okay. I have to say that.
That's right. Well, it's Buffalo. Everyone's connected.
Oh, sure. For sure. She had the conversation with Dan Hart. We should do a gospel choir because they had done one years ago, a community choir with my former music educator, Alfred Jarrett,
Mm-hmm.
Joyce Robinson, they all worked together to get that done. I think Gary Burgess was part of it too, I'm not sure. But they all worked together to get that done. And she was like, we need to bring that back. And it was around the time that that horrific massacre took place at Tops on Jefferson.
Right.
And it was in progress anyway. It just so happened that that was the time that everything aligned to come together to bring it to fruition. And we reached out so they got me on a call with Ella and Robin to put together a list of all of the Black churches, because it was a conscious effort to establish a positive relationship with the Black community and specifically the Black church.
Mm-hmm.
So we got together and got a list of as many ministers of music, pastors, places where the music programs are strong in the churches, to say, let's come together and form a choir. And we put all of the parameters out, letting everybody know, no, we're not, this is not a community choir in the sense that we think of it in our community. Community choir in our community means this is our choir and we're going to go to this place and this place and this place and this place. That's not what this is. It is, in effect, the Buffalo Philharmonic Gospel Choir.
Okay.
In effect. We're not limited to gospel music, but that
Right.
is where we sit. And so we got all these folks together one night in the basement of Kleinhans, laid it all out and said, look, this is what we're doing. We're asking you to send us the best of the best because we want to bring in gospel artists every year and put on a strong concert. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Wow, that's great. So now you got what, like 50 churches, something like that?
Yes.
That's a lot.
Just about, yeah.
It is. And what I find amazing is that they still are showing up and people are still interested in joining and staying with us, and the camaraderie, the music, and at that time, the healing that needed to take place. It was so big. It was so big. I'll never forget, because at that time I was the minister of music at First Shiloh Baptist Church with fellow BPO board member, Reverend Dr. Jonathan Staples. And I'll never forget the Sunday after that shooting, watching our Caucasian colleagues come to the church to show their support. I'm about to start bawling now thinking about it. But to have that kind of sharing and acceptance, and just community, it's incredible.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
I know. I went to when Julia Bottoms had her art exhibit at the AKG.
Yes.
Paintings from I was in tears. My wife's looking at me. She says, "You okay?" I said, "No."
Yeah.
I remember, and it was pretty close to. I had lost my mom a few years ago, and there was a picture that she had of a son embracing his mom, or vice versa, and I lost it. I'm like, because we could all relate to that, and it's like, oh my good. And what she put into the visuals with that too was just incredible how she did that. I think I sat there for half an hour on the bench just kind of getting everything together, because I've never been more moved at a show like that.
And you just try to find in moments like that, during tragedies, where can I find my healing? And so many people turn to art. You found it in an art exhibit. So many of our members found it in the music.
Sure.
So many of our members found it in the fellowship with other singers. So you just, it's interesting. You might not think out loud, where can I find my healing? But you find it. You know, you might not be searching for it, but somehow
like your soul knows you need it.
That's exactly it. Like you may not have gone into that art exhibit looking for healing.
Right. No.
And found it in the art exhibit.
Yeah. And we didn't even go for that exhibit specifically.
Right.
It's just, it was
It
there.
was there.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think it was Good Friday. And, so we both had the day off and just
For
went
sure.
and said, let's go check that out. And it's like, oh my goodness.
For sure.
Yeah. It's, but like I said, we're, both my wife and I are in theater and, singing together. I mean, there's singing all the time. And, and now I got a little 4.5-year-old granddaughter who's like, Grampy, let's go downstairs and play
awesome.
music. And I'm like,
That's so
yes.
awesome.
I know that's right.
It just, there's something about music, right? And I always say, I use the on my email, Harry Chapin wrote a song called Mr. Tanner.
Mm-hmm.
And the song is about a guy who's a cleaner, and he sings, and everyone says you should go to Carnegie Hall and do all that stuff. So he raises the money to do it. And the refrain to the song, he ends up not making it. They say he wasn't good enough to do it. And the refrain is, music was his life. It was not his livelihood.
Mm.
It made him feel so happy. It made him feel so good.
Yeah.
He sang from his heart. He sang from his soul. He did not know how well he sang. It just made him whole.
Hmm.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
When I first
Yeah.
heard that, I'm like,
profound.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I do everything that I do. I haven't made a dime doing this.
Listen, I feel
God
it.
bless you if you can make money. man.
Absolutely. And,
You know?
and we talk about aha moments. I remember I went to Branson, Missouri after I took a break after my mom got sick,
Mhm.
and I'm a mama's boy. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. I don't need a career.
Right.
And my siblings look at me and they're like, yeah, go do your thing.
Mhm.
And I remember in 2017, I was in Branson, Missouri, miserable because I'm a 14-hour drive from my family.
Mhm.
There's nothing to do in Branson, Missouri other than on a weekend, but I had a 10-month contract. And I'll never forget, I kept wondering, why am I here? Why am I
Mhm.
doing this? I remember a man came in a wheelchair for the show we were doing, Moses. It was at Sight and Sound Theater.
Oh, wow.
And I remember, and I've never seen shows like this. We parted the Red Sea on stage.
Oh, yeah.
And
Wow.
so I'm standing after the Red Sea has been parted, and this man who came in a wheelchair, front row, we're singing the finale, stands up and lifts his hands. I could not finish the song, the finale song, and I'm like,
Wow.
okay, God, I see why you have me here.
Mhm.
And again, you just find reason, you find healing, you find just comfort
Mhm.
in art, in music.
Yeah.
And I don't care what I'm going through, there is a song for everything.
Mhm.
You know?
And even in our membership,
Yeah.
they constantly talk about how healing it still is
Yeah.
for them.
Mhm.
You know, they look forward to it. It's not just artistry for them.
Right.
It's deeply connecting and deeply personal.
Mhm.
And that's just, it's incredible that we've been able to
Yeah.
preserve that.
Yeah.
And when we're in front of them, just to see how locked in they are,
Yeah.
and the smiles
Yeah.
that we
Mhm.
get when we're teaching music, when they're learning the music,
For sure.
even when we have to get a little intense with them,
That's right.
like they're locked in
Yeah.
because they want to learn.
Yeah.
And I don't just come in for the 45 minutes that I'm teaching music.
Mhm.
I sit for the entire rehearsal because I'm learning from Ella and Karen the whole time.
Yep.
Mhm.
Whether
We're
it's
learning from each other.
terms that I can use when I'm teaching
Mhm.
music, or it's about the storytelling, and we just as colleagues now, you sit and learn from each other
For sure.
while teaching the rest of the choir.
Yep.
And I think everyone from every walk of life that we have in our choir has learned something new every season, if not every rehearsal we've done this. And I
Right.
think just because of the we're more alike than we are different.
Mhm.
But I think even with all the differences,
Yeah.
you're allowed to learn from each other, learn
sure.
a different way to sing a vowel, learn
Yeah.
a different way to sing a note, like just the conversations that go on inside and outside of our choir, but are about the choir,
For sure.
are just, it pulls on the heartstrings, just because you're like, okay, this is what community is.
For
Right.
sure.
You
Yeah.
know?
And of
Yeah.
course, singing in a choir is, you got to be a unit, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
There's no grandstanding out there.
No.
right? I mean,
No.
unless you're specifically given a solo, right?
Right.
Right.
But you got to blend.
Absolutely.
And
You know.
even your solo work, though, is not about you.
Mhm.
It's about whatever that piece is conveying.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that even your styling, your phrasing, your breathing, your enunciation,
So true.
dynamics, all of it. And even in some cases, because there's a lot of play in
Mhm.
gospel music, even how you play with and
Mhm.
off of the choir
Mm-hmm.
and with
Right.
and off of the orchestra, none of that is about you as a soloist.
Wow.
It's all about the assignment for that piece.
If you get a chance to edit that and replay it 5 or 6 times,
Mhm.
please do so, because there are, and it's not a negative thing, but it's something that I think a lot of directors need to reiterate
Mhm.
with soloists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there are times that I'll hear a soloist run 20 riffs in the first line of a song,
Yes.
and it becomes about them
Yep.
immediately,
For sure.
when it's all about the storytelling. And I will say that when we look for soloists, and we audition for soloists, that's what we're looking for.
Correct.
We're looking for the storytelling more than the talent.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Of course you have to have the talent. Of course you have to have the gift.
Sure.
But we want to make sure that you're storytelling. And that's why I tell the choir all the time. We even talk about it. Like, I know as directors, we don't really like anybody to have the folders if they don't have to, because if you can tell a story with your hands and look directly in, I tell my choir all the time, if you can change one person's life in that audience by the way you're telling a story, then you've done your job.
For sure.
And I think that is a full body experience.
Right.
And so as performers, I think that's extremely important. And Karen just mentioned it. It's always about the material, about the story. Right. It's not about the soloist.
Yeah.
You know?
I've had this conversation on the podcast recently with some folks, and it's like, it seems to be, and I don't want to diss this or anything, but kind of the American Idol influence of getting rangy and the runs, and it's all about not really telling that story as well. It's just this season, the girl that won, I remember the first song, she kind of kept it right in here, and it was a personal song, told the story, and Lionel Richie's like, you could have went up on the notes, and it's like, no, right? She told the story perfectly. Right. She told it the way she wanted to tell it. It's her song.
Yeah.
It's
for
like,
sure.
What would have going up higher on that note would have done for the song?
Right.
Now if you're like, who's got the biggest range? Okay.
Yeah. Right. For sure.
But if you have a huge range and you don't know what to do
there
with it,
you go.
What good is it? Right?
That's it. That's it.
Tell me about it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
true.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to have a big range. I mean, I got a range of about this big, but us poor baritones,
Listen, I get it. But you're absolutely right. And I think, again, as a choir, as soloists, and I think there's one thing, and I'm a huge football fan. Bill Belichick has this term, do your job. Do your job.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when I got to New York, I realized that it's not just to do your job, do nothing but your job. Because you have to make sure, before you worry about anybody else, you have to make sure yours is together.
For sure.
You know? And so even through auditions, and I try to tell the choir this, make sure you are telling a story. Please. Because when I walk into an audition room or a choir member walks into audition for us, there's tons of people that can sing this song.
Right. Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Tons can sing it.
Right. Why should we listen to you sing it?
Right. Yeah. What makes you different?
That's it.
How well are you telling this story? Because every single song written is a story and has a story behind it.
Yep.
And so it is just like, I'll never forget, like, speaking of, Ragtime just won the Tony Award for Best Revival.
Yes.
Amazing show. One of the best scores and books written in musical theater to me. But we did not see Joshua Henry standing up there with 25 riffs in Wheels of a Dream or Make Them Hear You.
Did.
The man just sang the song and knew exactly what to do. And there was not one dry eye in the building when you are listening to someone like Joshua Henry.
Indeed.
And when you can understand that Joshua, I forgot it was Joshua Henry at times. And really, I really knew this was Colehouse Walker Jr.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
And so I challenge the choir all the time. Make sure even sometimes you lose your name and just become a minister of music.
Yeah.
Because you're ministering the story to everyone in the audience.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important. And I love that we're on this topic because I think it's so important for young people because they see everything with YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and everybody making videos of how well they can riff and where their range goes. It's like, I can tell a story with the range like this.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it's just, and I just put my hands together in a very small, I know we're on a podcast, so I said like this, but yeah, I think that's extremely important. I'm so glad we're talking about that.
Yeah. It's, you bring to mind, a local person, Alex MacArthur.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Alex. Oh yeah.
You talk about
yes.
when she played Lady Man, I'll tell you.
Listen, anytime she opens her mouth.
Yeah.
She just did, I was given the wrong character in Rent.
Joanne.
Joanne.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Our first rehearsal, I looked at Karen and I'm like, because I've heard the name Alex MacArthur.
Oh yeah.
Never got a chance to experience
Woo.
Alex. And that's why I stayed the one day and did the other song with her that wasn't even my song.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But Alex is a beast.
Ooh.
Oh gosh, yes.
Oh,
Yes, she is.
Yeah. Oh.
And the thing is, to what you were both saying about the American Idol culture,
Mhm.
or I should say singing competition culture. Let's do it that way. Is it doesn't teach you to be patient.
Mm.
It's instant gratification. And when you stand to sing, you bring everything with you.
Mhm.
Because and that really is what you need to get inside the song. Because I say it all the time. Okay, great. You just sang the notes. Yay.
Mhm.
Can we have the song now?
Right.
Can we have the music now?
Yeah.
And getting beyond the surface of what the text says is something that Alex does
Oh.
so well.
Yeah.
She takes you wherever she wants you to
Yeah.
go and holds you until she's finished.
Oh gosh, yes.
Oh
yeah.
man.
Yeah, I've known Alex for a while, and we
Mhm.
went to see the Billie Holiday the first time she did Billie Holiday.
Yeah.
At the old musical fair,
Yeah.
and I said to my wife, I said, it was maybe 5 or 10 minutes. I forgot she was Alex.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know,
That's
she just embodied something, and I'm
For
like,
sure.
and it's like, oh my goodness, and yeah, you talk about emoting and
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
telling that story. I'm like, damn girl.
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to have to look in the playbill again to remember your name.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's great that I think the makeup of our directors for the BUCC is something that I have never experienced
Nope.
anywhere.
None of us.
You have the legendary Ella Robinson,
Mhm.
who has been doing this. I mean, New Beginnings were around before I was born, and I'm
Yep.
43.
Yep.
And my mom's been in
Sure.
the choir since before I was born. So
Mhm.
they're approaching 50.
Uh-huh.
And Ella's been doing that forever. So she has the range of eras.
Yeah.
And she's been a music teacher.
Yeah.
She's taught gospel music, classical music, worked with the BPO before.
Yeah.
And then Karen is a legend in her own way
Mhm.
because she's had every single facet of music. And her mom just got into the Buffalo Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And Karen and Ella are on their way there. I think
Yeah.
Ella's in it too. And
Yes.
Karen's on her way there.
Oh, there you go.
And so it's just to be able to sit back and realize that I'm working with legends, and then to have Karen not only do the gospel side of it, but then I've now worked with her in musical theater.
Mhm.
And then she can sing and teach and direct the classical side of it. Like there's not one genre that I haven't been able to look at Karen Saxon and say she can't do it.
Mhm.
And I will tell somebody, you can't do that.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
But Karen is just, and so sitting and learning, and I know for a fact that I am still trying to learn everything about my gift personally.
Mhm.
But I've studied gospel music like no other genre of music
Mhm.
because I know as a leader of not only the BUCC, but of my own choir.
Yeah.
And I had to make sure that I knew what I was talking about because I started them as a high school choir
Mhm.
in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've been around for 18 years. And the high schoolers that started, a lot of them are still in the choir.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And we're getting ready to record our third CD. But I knew that I couldn't go in as a director not studying the
Mhm.
type of music we do.
Right.
And so the makeup of the direction we have, all
Mhm.
three of us together, and we work well together.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we get along with each other.
Yes, we do.
And so it's just,
For sure.
it's a blessing to be a part of it.
And that diversity is key to being able to train the BUCC
Mhm.
because you have some folks who, like us, grew up in the gospel
Mhm.
tradition.
Right.
And then you have some folks who are just curious
Yeah.
and want to do something
Yeah.
different and excited.
Mhm.
Or they worked with Jackie Copeland at I can't think of the Catholic church downtown, right behind the credit union.
Mm.
I can't think
Yeah,
it's going to
yeah.
drive me to St. Joe's.
Okay.
Or they worked with Ella, who also plays in the Catholic Church.
Mhm.
They've worked with folks who've done this stuff, and they're like, "Oh man, we want to be a part of it." Or they're just looking for something to do,
Mm-hmm.
someplace different to be, where they can be inspired, and we can't say enough. Research backs it up. Singing music helps the brain.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got folks in there for their health and it helps. The dopamine they walk out with is insane. So but on the strictly skill set side of things, it's empowering to be able to know that we can talk to that whole room and nobody be left out.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we can slice it this way for the folks with classical training, or we can slice it this way for the folks with none, so that everybody is on that same page, so that no matter what approach we take to it, we're all going to the same place and we're going together.
Right.
And the way we explain things helps also because, and this may be my opinion, but I'll take it as fact, gospel music is one of the most unique and hardest genres of music to learn. I sat down with my nephew before because my nephew loves rap music. I'm not a huge rap fan, but you can get through a rap song with one beat through the whole song.
For sure.
R&B and hip hop, great. These are great genres of music. But R&B, hip hop usually do a verse, chorus, then you're out. Gospel, intro, verse, chorus, bridge, vamp, chorus again, another verse, you're everywhere.
Sure.
There is a song that I played for him. It's called Strange. It was first done, I think, by the Walter Hawkins, and then redone by Ricky Dillard and New G. And it's just like a jazz piece. And Ricky Dillard redid it. And this song, Ricky Dillard music, just the way there's like 5-6 parts to each song anyways.
Sure.
But it's just remarkable how the human brain and gospel music can work. And then you think of a song and you remember it immediately, even though it had 5 or 6 parts. But gospel music, if you just listen to one of the songs, like even Total Praise, it has 3 different sections in that song.
For sure.
And none of them are the same.
Right.
And so it's just, gospel music is so unique to me because you cannot just sit down and put one beat on and sing the whole song.
Right.
A lot of other genres you can. And that's why I'm outside of gospel music, I've always been such a big fan of Queen. Like Bohemian Rhapsody. What?
Yeah.
What?
Sure. Yeah.
Freddie Mercury. Like, this is crazy. And so that's why I always, just those types of music, that type of music that I have to learn and learn again is just, it baffles me how we hold on to that and but that's why I think, like Karen said, some people just enjoy being there because of the challenge to work their brains, because gospel music is just that type. Then if you allow it to do something to you, it will.
Yeah,
For
it
sure.
will. Now we kind of, talked about being a unified, choir and all that, but you've got the music in front of you, but gospels feel.
Oh, for sure.
So how do you keep that unification? I've asked this before of people, and sometimes no one can really put their finger on it. It's like, how do you, A, can you teach the feel, but B, if people are feeling it, how do you keep that controlled from a director standpoint?
Oh, yeah. We can answer all of that.
Okay.
Can you teach the feel? I'm going to say no, but you can empower people to want to feel it.
Okay.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
It has to be, they have to feel safe enough to allow it to happen.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think that's one thing we do very well. We don't criticize. We certainly don't overlook it if it's not right, especially if it's me. No, wait a minute. No, this is the note right here. But no, seriously. But we make them feel safe enough to take those risks. And sometimes you literally have to throw it against the wall and see what sticks. Sometimes it's not a matter of, well, do this or do that. Sometimes it's, look, do it differently. Let's hear what you got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, well, we're going to do it this way. I call it the George Brown, where you give a body movement where they just kind of know what to do. He'll hold his hand out, wear it straight, and then he'll move it so that they, bring in the vibrato. Those things can be taught. And then controlling it in a concert setting, we had our experience with that. Now that's where we have to rein Ella in. I love my cousin, But if she could shout every number for 20 minutes, she would.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that
Right.
until you have the Buffalo Philharmonic Orchestra, which is a union ensemble.
Mhm.
After a while, we need to take tithes and offering
Mhm.
to pay the overtime,
That's
right?
it.
So we,
Very true.
I actually ended up saying that. We were at our last concert for Unity, and I don't remember what the song was, but just blew the roof off the building.
Mhm.
It was incredible. The choir was on point. The soloist was on point. It was, of course, I can't remember his name now. I'm looking at him. It'll come back to me. But
Pastor?
no,
No.
one of Ella's babies,
Carl? Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, he sang the paint off the walls.
Carl
the
Smith.
choir
Carl Smith
was
yeah.
right there. The orchestra that was together. I mean, it was in sync, right?
Mhm.
So we ended it because we do it by the music.
Mhm.
So that's the short answer. The control comes in because we've rehearsed. We're going to do this number of repeats, and at this point, we're done, right?
Mhm.
So the song came to an end, wildly received. Spirit was in the air. Ella brings it back. So I let it go for a little while, and then I said, all right. We are so glad that you are
Yeah.
feeling the Spirit of God in
Yeah.
this room. I need you to take that with you, bottle it up,
Yeah.
and take him with you to church.
Yeah.
Because if we don't move on, we're going to turn this into a church service
Yes.
because we'll have to pass the plate
That's
and grab
it.
an offering
For the
to play this
yeah,
overtime.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Jesus paid it all, but he
Right.
didn't pay that bill.
Yeah.
He's not coming down to pay that one.
Yeah.
So, it really is just a matter of we are musicians. So we've rehearsed, this is how this goes. And we worked with Joanne or whoever the guest conductor is to say, this is the number of repeats. This is how it goes,
Mhm.
period. And then once it gets to the end, and
Right.
we never do it, I have to say, between Joanne and the other conductors that we've worked with, it has never felt like we were being contained.
Mm.
It really has always been a matter of how much time does this need to breathe?
Mm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it never has been, okay, we're done and that's it.
Right.
It's what feels right. If that doesn't feel like enough, how can we stretch it? And of course, we have the whole program to look at
Mhm.
and to look at it by the timing. So those are the two answers to those questions.
Oh wow, that's phenomenal. I know there's talking about Donna Delano Kerr. I was singing with them and kind of stiff, and her husband Dan comes up to me. He says, "Dude, you're thinking too much, man."
Yeah.
He says, "Just sing it."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I did, and he says, "There you go."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
for sure.
Because people can tell.
Yep.
yeah.
People
Oh,
can tell
God.
when people are watching you, and or I'm watching singers and I'm not on stage. You could tell.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
You could tell, and I think I think that's great. You're thinking too much
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
For sure.
we've been in rehearsal.
For sure.
Now just let it go.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Just let
Yeah.
it go.
Yep.
Trust the
Yeah.
training we've given you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And let it go.
And a lot of times they're trying to do, it seems like whether it's singing, acting, or whatever, they're trying to do what it is they think you want as a director.
Yes.
And that's not it,
Right.
especially not in gospel music.
Mhm.
That's not it.
Man.
What I want, what I want, of course, is the notes, the rhythms, all of the artistry things that we put in place.
Mhm.
Mhm.
What I expect is for that to wed with your collective experiences
Mhm.
so that we present together something that none of us can put together alone.
Right.
That's the whole point of coming together to do it.
yeah.
You know?
The sum of the whole,
Yeah.
baby.
Right.
That's it.
Because
Yeah.
energy is infectious.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even in sports,
Hmm.
like
Mhm.
it's the big M, momentum.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think it's infectious when even on stage, and I know you've experienced this, when your audience is talking back to you or
Oh,
giving you
yeah.
something, the show just it raises the
For
stakes.
sure.
Oh gosh,
So
yes. Yeah.
it is so infectious. If I'm giving energy next to somebody who's not,
Yeah.
they look at me like, okay, I gotta pick it up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I gotta pick it up.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And I think it's in all facets of life. Just energy is infectious.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, and I just think that that's part of it. Like you get the right people around you, you get the right energy, and we encourage it in rehearsal.
For sure.
Mhm.
We encourage that. So, so like Karen said, you can't teach it, but you can tell them that we are open to it.
That's right.
And I think that if we get 70% of the choir doing it,
Yep.
that next 30 by the second or third song will get to it.
That's
Yeah.
it.
So
Yeah.
That's
Well,
it.
I had an experience once. My buddy and I have a folk duo. We sing like Simon and Garfunkel, Everly Brothers, stuff like that. We were doing a retirement party, and not one person we were in a restaurant, acknowledged us, clapped,
Oh.
nothing. I mean, we got.
Oh.
I mean,
Man.
it's like, is this an audience or an oil painting? It was horrible. And I just kept looking
Wow.
at my buddy. I said, I have the money.
Uh-huh.
So let's just keep doing our thing.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
witty banter. We just kept singing
Yeah.
because I think it was the guy who they were having the party for. He didn't want to have a party, and I think everyone was afraid to because even when he'd start playing like Sounds of Silence or something,
Yeah.
there was at least someone go, "Oh, I like that song,"
Yeah.
Nothing.
Wow.
But then after we played and we were done, well, you guys were good. I'm like,
right.
well, you couldn't
Were we?
tell. I'm like,
Yeah,
man, that was probably the most worst experience
Yeah.
I've ever had. And then we had the opposite. We were at the Buffalo Music Hall of Fame Gala.
Yeah.
And there's a folk artist named Jackson C. Frank who passed away years ago, was in the Cleve Hill Elementary School fire. And we sang his song, Blues Run the Game. And we were out at the Cove and Depew and all kinds of people. And Linda Appleby was
Yeah.
inducted that year, and
For
everyone's
sure.
around. And we started singing, and the place went quiet.
Wow.
And we were doing our thing, and I'm telling you, everyone kind of like,
Yeah. Nice.
and I said, we've had the two
Yeah,
experiences,
for
we've
sure.
had-
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if we never do this again, I said, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because this was like
Yeah.
the pinnacle.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
Beautiful.
and we had the guy who was Jackson's guardian at the end of his life. He's sitting in front of us with tears coming down his face. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
Nice.
power
Yeah.
of music, right?
Yes.
That's
for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. And just the response
Yeah.
Yeah.
that you can get. And it depends on the song because sometimes
That's true.
silence is an incredible response depending on the
Mhm.
type of music you're singing
Yeah.
or the type of song.
For sure.
And then sometimes I want you to shout back at me.
Right.
Yeah.
But it just depends.
That's right.
And I think audiences, I've known that the song choice was either good or bad based on the audience's response.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
I've always known that. And there are some places that the choir is going to go that no matter what you do, the response is not going to be there.
Right.
Right.
I try to keep the choir out of those situations.
That's right.
But you just never know. But
Right.
I think if you're listening to this podcast, just know you are free to feel the energy.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
If you are seeing the BUCC sing somewhere, you are free to talk back to us,
That's right.
clap with us,
Please.
sing along, do whatever you need to do because
Mhm.
we want to make sure that feeling that we're trying to provide is infectious.
That's right.
So if you want to come out and have a good time, the choir is going to have a good time regardless.
Mhm.
Right.
That's right.
But we want you to have one too, and you can
There you
show
go.
it.
And
Yeah.
that is part of the rehearsal process.
Okay.
That is very much part
Right.
of the rehearsal process because if you don't enjoy it, how can you expect anyone else to?
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to invest
Yep.
what you expect.
So true.
Mhm. Yeah. So we're getting close to the top of the hour. It goes fast. But before we go, how do you get involved with the BUCC if you want to sing?
Very simple. So you make sure you follow us. We have a page on the BPO's website and look out for auditions.
Mhm.
Auditions are usually March, April, depending on what our schedule
Right.
looks
Depending on what our
like.
schedule is. Yeah.
and you have to in order. So the big concert for us is always in October,
Mhm.
but the auditions are in March so that we can get you lined up, get you ready. In order to sing that concert, you have to sing the concert in January. No, July. Sorry. Yeah, you have to sing the concert for Unity in July because that was the primary goal for this group, was to make sure that we remain part of the healing that needs to take place
Yes.
in our community. So if you want to do anything with the BUCC, you have to sing that concert for Unity.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's bpo.org
Mhm.
BUCC.
Yes.
BPO.org backslash BUCC. All the information on auditions are on there as well. If you know Karen or I or Ella personally, or Robin personally, and big shout out to Robin Parkinson
For
as
sure.
well, because Robin is
The glue.
to
machine.
this entire thing.
Oh,
She
yeah.
does all the nitty gritty
Yes, she
work,
does.
all of the communications, keeps us together because our calendars are crazy.
That's right.
But keeps us together. She is
Keeps
Robin
the
Parkinson.
choir informed.
Yes, is she's the one who updates the website
That's right.
and puts all of our links up there. She is. So I would be remiss
incredible.
if we did not mention
For
Robin
sure.
because Robin is absolutely incredible. But
Yes,
if you know
she is.
any of us personally, you can reach out to us and we'll give you all the information that we can that is available to us, or just send you the link. But
That's right.
again, it's bpo.org backslash BUCC, and you can find all
Nice.
information there.
All right. Well, Karen, George, I can't thank you enough. This has been fun. What a great conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been
yeah,
great.
Yeah,
Fun for us,
great
too.
energy, great stuff. So,
Yeah.
and for everyone who's tuned in, we hope you've had just as much fun as we have. And as always, you can find the podcast where you get your podcasts at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Audible, iHeartRadio, thebuffalohive.com, YouTube, and of course, you can always find the podcast at rockabillygreg.com, where it's all about the music. And I'll have those links up on my page. And we'll have some photos, and hopefully you got some videos out there that we can share with everybody.
Beautiful.
And we'll just have it all ready for you. So for everyone who's tuned in, thanks again, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. In the Flamingo Lounge is made possible in part by catslikeus.com, your online store for authentic vintage clothing and accessories. Buffalo Ironworks, an intimate live music venue and bar located in the Cobblestone District in downtown Buffalo. Sportsman's Tavern, Buffalo's original honky-tonk and popular live music venue. And by Diamond Hawk Golf Course and Pub, Western New York's premier golf course, restaurant, and banquet facility. At the Hawk, the bar is hopping year-round with live music every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, and some other nights, too. Tune in for a new episode every Saturday at 9 a.m. EST at rockabillygreg.com, where it's all about the music. Bark, Zoe, bark. Good girl.